Coming up live at 7, we take a look at Siena's annual giving tree. So far, only 125 out of 400 individuals have been chosen. And a look at this past weekend's Best Buddies annual Thanksgiving feast. They had several Thanksgiving-themed activities.
Do you want to help out a local family or child this holiday season? Siena University.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Jones. Last week, Siena's 9th president, Father Kevin Mackin, passed away. President Seifert shared the news with the Siena community over the weekend. Father Kevin Mackin was Siena's president from 1996 to 2007. He passed away Saturday. Father Kevin was instrumental in a number of campus improvements, like the Standish Library, the Sayers and Student Union, Morrell Science Center, and Padua Hall. A wake will be held tomorrow at 4 p.m. at St. Mary of the Angels Chapel here on campus. His funeral mass will be celebrated this weekend at St. Anthony of Padua Church in New Jersey. Father Kevin was 87 years old. The Giving Tree is Siena's annual campus drive that collects gifts and essentials for local families and youth agencies in the capital region. SCTV's Riley Constable has more.
Do you want to help out a local family or child this holiday season? Siena University is hosting their annual Giving Tree event. I spoke with Claire Donahue for more.
It is an opportunity for students to help buy presents that will go to different organizations so that kids who aren't getting presents this season are able to get some of the gifts that they want. And this goes until December.
The Department of Physics and Astronomy and Data Science hosted Siena alum Sandy Spicer to talk about her career path. From her Siena astrophysics research to her role as a data scientist at one of the leading manufacturers of aircraft engines. From astrophysics to data science to jet engines, Sandy has dipped her toes into a large pool of scientific learning during her lecture. And during her lecture, she spoke on her nonlinear career path and how it shaped her as an employee and as a person.
Humbling career path for me, and it just caused me to want to follow my curiosity. And I think of collecting new experiences or trying new things, like just following my curiosity throughout this journey has really just helped me kind of learn more about where I want to go in life.
Through following her curiosity, Sandy has found a nurturing career path at Pratt & Whitney. She also used this talk to relieve students of graduate school or career anxiety for life after graduating. She wishes for students to feel inspired to follow their curiosity and not to feel weighed down by having all the answers in life. Still to come, a conversation with Adam Flieger about the management and sports management opportunities in the local capital region here at Siena. Plus, Noah Keim and I will recap this last week in sports. We'll be right back. Black Friday is a little more than 1 week away, but consumers may not get bang for all of those bucks. Karen Kafa is in Washington with what consumers need to know about this year's deals and sneaky surprises.
Popular holiday gifts like toys, apparel, and electronics are among the most imported and most impacted by the Trump administration's tariffs.
The uncomfortable reality of it all is that the sort of things that we want this Christmas or in past Christmases is stuff that is no longer produced in the United States.
Russell Hawley, director of shopping content for CNET, says some tech and toy manufacturers have made changes to trim their costs.
There have been a number of manufacturers that have made it clear that they're going to, in order to adjust to tariffs, do things like remove batteries. So the batteries would need to be a separate purchase. The packaging may be different.
Purchasing items brought in before tariffs took effect may help consumers save, but Hawley says do some research, especially with tech, to make sure it's worth it.
We've seen quite an increase in people shopping, refurbished versions of models of things that they are interested in order to get that, kind of extra savings. My biggest recommendation to anybody going that route is to just read the fine details.
David Bieri, associate professor of economics at Virginia Tech, says online shoppers who find big deals need to note where the item ships from.
If you're doing direct imports or have FedEx or DHL or UPS or even the US Postal Service act as your importer, you will have to carry the cost.
The de minimis rule had long kept low-value packages entering the U.S. tariff-free. That exemption ended in August. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The Best Buddies organization held a Thanksgiving feast this past weekend. SCTV's Zoe Stoddard has more.
I am here at the annual Best Buddies Thanksgiving celebration where students and community members come together to share food, friendship, and the
I had the chance to talk to Chris Royce and Alex Doring about how this event captures the spirit of Thanksgiving.
We are having our Thanksgiving event tonight. We meet every couple of weeks, and we have Siena College students who meet with local individuals and developmental disabilities. Our Thanksgiving event really is wonderful because we are able to show how thankful we are for the community.
Now, let's hear from Alex Doring, a participant who has been looking forward to this event.
This event captures is the amount of people that we get together every year and have an event like this. Brings everybody together once a year to kind of socialize.
The Best Buddies Thanksgiving event had Thanksgiving-themed activities such as card making, Thanksgiving trivia, and food.
The Best Buddies Thanksgiving event is more than a holiday gathering. It's a reminder of the power of inclusion, kindness, and community. For those interested in getting involved, Best Buddies is always welcoming new members. Reporting for SCTV, I'm Zoe Stoddard.
On the way, a conversation about Siena's management program with Adam Fleeger. Up next. Welcome back to SCTV Live at 7, everyone. Steve Jones, joined by Dr. Adam Fleeger, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Adam, you are one of the key figures in the management program here, but in addition to that, you are a real key figure in our sports management program. How did that come to fruition here at Siena?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I think kind of coming back to Siena is really a little bit of a homecoming for me and my family. So I went to school down in the South, graduated from LSU, still a little bit of a Tigers fan. But after graduating, I worked at 3 institutions in the South, and we were always kind of missing home a little bit. And when a job opportunity came up to teach some sport management classes at Siena also happens to be my wife's alma mater, I jumped on it. And what's really neat about it is the original process, the original idea was just to offer 1 or 2 sport management courses for management and business students. And from that, we kind of started to develop the entire program. And so looking at it today, we have our sport management track in the management department. We also have a sport management concentration that's available to both business students and also students outside of the business school, so communications and other areas in School of Liberal Arts and School of Science.
Now, just outside of sports management classes, what other management classes do you teach?
Yeah, so some of the other management classes that I've taught since I've gotten here is our like introduction to management, so management 211, as well as organizational behavior. But as of right now, I am the only one teaching the sport management classes, and so the majority of my teaching, advising, and kind of workload is teaching those classes, working with our sport management students, helping them kind of navigate internships and early career positions and so on. So a lot of my effort here on campus is focused directly on the program.
Now, what are some of the benefits of working with these students and trying to help them find internships, and just through purely navigating the sports management world through the class or through the various activities that they're allowed to do in class?
Yeah, so one of the great things about sport management, it's one of the fastest growing fields. So in the past decade, if we look on college campuses, there's a lot of programs that are popping up. There's more courses being offered, which overall is a positive thing, but that also makes the industry significantly more competitive, right? So when you graduate, it's not just enough anymore to have your degree. What organizations and whether you're looking to work at a high school, college, nonprofit, professional sport, what they're looking for is how were you engaged while you were a student, right? Were you out there volunteering? Did you have internships in different types of positions? How active were you in the community? And so that's a big focus, whether it's inside our classroom or outside the classroom. We're always trying to get students engaged. It's, I think learning happens significantly more, right, when we're out directly engaged with industry partners, working at the events, seeing how things work firsthand, rather than kind of sitting and listening to lectures in the classroom.
So what are some of the benefactors, I would say, or what are some of the important key figures for students to know about the sports management program in terms of the local sports management companies and teams that you guys work with?
Yeah, so there's a variety. We're kind of a unique position here, in that we have several professional teams and minor teams in the capital region, but I also call it kind of, we're in the middle of a triangle in the fact that we have major professional teams in Montreal, Boston, and New York, right? And so I think this is a really great advantage to our students in that specifically in semester or in classes, we can actively engage, whether it's on campus with Siena. We have students that are involved with University of at Albany, but also the Firebirds professional football team, the Thunder professional hockey team. We have a minor league baseball team, and then some nonprofits like Special Olympics New York. So we're actively engaged throughout the semester with those local capital region organizations, and then students in the summer and often winter will start to look for internships with major professional clubs. So in the past few years, we've had students over in Boston working with Nesson, the Boston Red Sox. We've had some students down in New York with the New York Mets, MSG, and New York Rangers. We've had one student up in Canada with the new Montreal women's professional hockey team there.
That's awesome. Now, are there any special events you're looking forward to coming up next semester that maybe students will want to put on their horizon for a management class, or if they feel like volunteering and they're part of the Siena community?
Yeah, so there's a couple kind of really interesting things. Number one is we're going to be hosting and helping to run a charity pickleball event here on campus. So we're partnering with a couple local nonprofits, and there'll be some more information coming out in the coming months on that. And the other thing is most springs, as part of our kind of sport management curriculum, students have an opportunity to study sport management and sport marketing abroad. So this coming spring, as part of our management or marketing 290 course, we have students they're going to be traveling as an 11-day kind of intensive class through Spain and Portugal, where we're going to be meeting with some of the biggest soccer and other sport clubs in Spain and Portugal. We're going to be hopefully going to see 2 major professional soccer teams. We're learning about surfing and sustainability and all of these kind of exciting things. And it's one of those opportunities where you can kind of fully immerse yourself in kind of that learning environment. We get to learn about the sporting culture, meet with sport organizations, but also a big part of study abroad, no matter what program it is you getting to experience the cities, right, and in the countries. And so we always make that as a kind of a hallmark of the study abroad programs.
Well, I can firmly say, as someone who's done a pair of these study abroad trips with Adam, that they are beyond exciting, so much fun, and for anybody still looking for a class, I highly recommend signing up to do one of those classes or talking to Adam first in advance.
Great.
Anyway, Adam, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Well, coming up next, Noah and I will take a quick recap of the past week in sports. We'll talk about Siena sports, we'll talk about the NBA, and so far we've had a busy week in college basketball. Stay tuned.
One, two. back to SCTV Live at 7. I'm Noah Kime, joined by Steve Jones to break down all the action in sports this past week. Steve, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, we had a great week in the sports world. No better place to start than with some Monday Night Football, where the Cowboys showed out against the Raiders. And that they did. In Vegas, Cowboys, Raiders, it's prime time.
Oh yeah, this game on paper, it could be a lot better than it really was. It was basically just a shootout. We see Dak Prescott hitting CeeDee Lamb in the back of the end zone to get some of the scoring started, the first touchdown of the game, and he just had a great game that night.
CeeDee Lamb and Pickens were on point with Dak as he continues to add to his impressive resume thus far this season.
Throughout this game, the Raiders struggled to get really anything going. They couldn't get the run game going. They couldn't get the passing game going. We have Ashton Genty, which is a measly 7 yards on 6 carries, completely bottled up. And Geno Smith, his struggles continue this season. 27 for 42 for an average of just less than 6 yards per pass. He's really been struggling. As
you can see there, Trey Tucker in this highlight scores on 4 receptions, 47 yards, and a touchdown. So overall productive night for Mr. Tucker and the Raiders, but it was the Cowboys who took the final 33-16, winning by 3 possessions, Noah.
Yeah, they took advantage of a primetime game against a team that's been struggling. They took full advantage of that as Dak Prescott continues to keep his name in that MVP conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, football wasn't the only thing we had going on this past week. We got tons of NBA action going on, starting with the Knicks and the Heat, who had a thriller game on Monday night.
It was a fun game in South Beach, as at first it looked like the Knicks were in command. Now, mind you, as you can see in the bottom portion of our graphic, no Brunson, no Anunoby, no Hero, and no Adebayo for each team. So 2 key players, 4 stars, 4 possible all-stars, all out. It was Karl Anthony Towns versus Norm Powell. And their surrounding cast of characters helped out. Khalil Ware, Andrew Wiggins on the Heat side. For the Knicks, Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges. Back and forth, each team exchanging various blows, as well as trying to run away with the lead. But the Knicks got up late. However, it was the Miami Heat who ended up pulling away as the Knicks in the final 20 seconds tried to tie the game, and they were unsuccessful, especially after a jump ball and a replay review and another crushing loss for the New York Knicks. A tough loss in Miami nonetheless, and this is a game, I think, Noah, that a guy like Deuce McBride will think about this for a long time as this road trip winds on. Now,
Deuce McBride will be thinking about this one. I mean, he gave
Absolutely.
you 25 points. Despite all the injuries with these key players missing, these teams both came to play, and you see, again, guys like Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, and Karl Anthony Towns really showing that they can step up in the big moments. Unfortunately, it was not enough to get the win, but on the other side of the ball, the Heat players did just that. Jaime Jaquez had a great game, and I mean, it's the next man up mentality, and both teams had that, but one really had it more than the other that night.
Well, sticking with the Knicks theme for just a second, they'll be back in action tonight at 9:30 down in Dallas as the Knicks take on Cooper Flagg and the Mavs for the first time this season. Both teams obviously in the headlines, one for their injuries, the others for their trade speculations and rumors. But enough about the Dallas Mavericks and their endeavors, we'll say.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to other action we had going on throughout the night, too.
Yeah.
We had another great NBA game with the Clippers and the 76ers. James Harden back in Philly. Paul George healthy for the first time this season, Noah.
It was a homecoming of sorts. I mean, we have James Harden on one end, Paul George on the other end. Both played for both teams. You have Paul George with the Clippers, James Harden used to be with Philly. Now we got these new faces in new places, and Paul George's first game of the season, he came to play, I think, better than most people maybe expected. He got the scoring going early, but that man, James Harden, was a bad man that night. 28 points, but wasn't the baddest man on the court. That man, Tyrese Maxey, 39 points in a win against the Los Angeles Clippers, who continue to struggle. I mean, the signs of age are slowly showing. You have James Harden, who's an older player, Kawhi Leonard, injury problems, all this type of stuff. They're really struggling with that lack of youth. Maybe a move coming in the future, something like that. But as of right now, they're just struggling. But the 76ers have been guns blazing all season. No matter who's in the lineup, they got guys to step up. Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, now Paul George showing his value on that court.
Ivica Zubac had a double-double, the only one that the Clippers had. But on the flip side, as you mentioned, the 76ers ran away with us. Tyrese Maxey, as you mentioned, 39 points, 13 field goals made, Noah. What a night he had against his former teammate. As you see Harden trying to win the game, clanks off the back iron. One more chance for James Harden. It wouldn't go. The Clippers survive and win at home. 110-108, your final in regulation, Noah.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking blow to this Clippers team who, like I said before, have been struggling to find their footing with this season. But, I mean, when you put the ball in the hands of a guy like James Harden, you kind of got to live with whatever shot he gets you at the end of the game. He got 2 good looks at it, but unfortunately, it would not go down. The Clippers drop another one in Philly.
Now, going on to some college basketball, we've had some power matchups all weekend long, all week. We have some thrilling matchups tonight. Arizona, Illinois, UConn, they're all playing tonight. Last night it was Michigan State, it was Kansas, Kentucky, Duke. Those 4 squared off in their classic champion classics matchup. But for us here at Siena, we had an exciting matchup. The Colgate Raiders and the Siena Saints did battle, and it was a heartbreaking loss for the Saints, Noah.
Oh, I mean, you can't lose in a much more dramatic fashion than that. I mean, a half-court heave to end the game. Siena's already coming off a loss in that game. They started the season 2-0, and they go into this, they drop 1 game. Now this game, you were looking to get back in the winning column, but unfortunately, the basketball gods were just not on our side that night, and we drop our 2nd game in a row, but we have plenty of time to redeem ourselves this Friday night against UAlbany in the Albany Cup, one of the biggest rivalries in the Capital Region. Steve, what are you looking for from the Saints in that matchup?
The Albany Cup is back, and most importantly, folks, it's a home game for Siena. I know sometimes we'll have a neutral game at MVP, but this will be Siena territory. Green and gold, my friends. But for Siena, it's all going to be about ball movement, crashing the offensive boards, crashing the defensive boards as well, too, and absolutely living and dying from the 3, but also living and dying from within the paint, too. When that does happen, though, and the negative happens, crash the glass, grab the rebounds, and make sure to keep each possession alive.
Yeah, and I think Siena can go out and grab this win from UAlbany. They're running a smaller lineup right now. They're down some players, but I think they can really pull away and get this game. And it's a big game. The arena's going to be packed, going to be loud. You're going to be there.
We will, yep.
And then going back to the Colgate game for a second, I heard a little birdie told me that you, Mr. Steve Jones, were on that sideline and you got to actually talk to the man that hit that game-winning shot against the Saints.
Yeah, I was able to speak with Jalen Cox, and that was just such a surreal moment. I mean, he told me straight up when we talked, I said, hey, what was going through your mind? What's the first instinct when you pull up from half court on a prayer? And he said, that's something we work on before each game, before each practice, just to make sure we have that survival instinct and just to make sure we're also prepared. Now, after a couple of questions, too, we had our own Kelly O'Donnell interview Coach Langle as well, too. And Coach Langle confirmed that this is something the boys work on. This is something they want to make sure they're ready for, whether it be November or in March in the heat of a big, epic postseason run, Noah.
Yeah, you know what they say, practice makes perfect, and that young man showed it that night.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all the time we have for today here at SCTV Live at 7. Thank you for joining us. You can follow us on Instagram at Siena Communications TV, or you can find us here on the Siena University Communications YouTube program.
Have a great night, everybody.